Welcome back to Live Inside the Booth. Another good edition. Got games of the week, players to talk about, and coaches to speak on. I'm your host, Marlon Lowe. Welcome to Welcome to Live Inside the Booth. We got a good another quality panel again today. They're coming back to join us again. We got Brandon Jenkins. He's going to be talking about basketball in the Centex area, the Central Texas, which is San Antonio, Austin, Killeen, Pflugerville area, all of that. And we got Ani Umana, who's going to be talking about the Metroplex, the DFW area. Before we get started, once again, if you would, turn that phone straight up and down, look at it, see that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for us. Make sure you can get your updates for when we'll be going live, who we'll be having inside the booth. Make sure that if you have a chance to share it, but also hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit that like button for us, man. Give us a shout out on YouTube and everywhere else so that people can sit back and see that we try to make progress. So as we move forward, let's get ready to get Ani Umana in from the Metroplex and Brandon Jenkins from the Centex area right inside the booth. Let's get them in. What's going on, fellas?
What's good? What's good with you?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Look, last time we got on for last week, it was some big time games that we talked about that was in the DFW and the Centex area, right? Got a lot of feedback. A lot of those games were some big time. Speaking of that, real quick, look, right here we got Ani Umana from the D. He's going to talk about the DFW. We got Brandon Jenkins right here. He's going to talk about the Centex area. Ani,
yeah.
The games from last week that you spoke of, was any game specific that stood out to you that made people talk about it? It made you remember something?
Yeah, it was that J.J. Pearson Duncanville game. It was another 1-2 possession game. Duncanville aged out at the end, but it was probably like I pegged it as the best game going on that day, and it lived up to it.
Okay. What about you, Brandon? Anything? What was going on in the Centex area? What were some of those games that stood out to you?
Definitely the Brennan versus O'Connor game. Brennan continued their winning streak, winning a close one, but it also was an entertaining game. Brennan Wenzel of O'Connor had 40 points in the loss, so I guess it lived up to the hype.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this weekend, which is today's February 7th, 2019. I'm about to say 2017. 2019. We're going let's talk about some games that's coming up for Friday and maybe even for Saturday within the Centex and Dallas Metroplex area, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. What are some games that we need to be looking out for? Which one of the first games we need to be looking out for, Ani?
So I'll talk about two games. You got St. Mark's versus Episcopal School of Dallas. That's a rivalry game in the SPC League. St. Mark's, they clinched the first place title on Tuesday when they beat Oak Ridge. But St. Mark's and ESD is always a huge rivalry game. St. Mark's has 4 Division I prospects with Noah Shelby, the freshman, Colin Smith, who's also a freshman, Harrison Ingram, who's a sophomore, Andrew Laxkowski, who's a junior, and I'm not familiar with who ESD has, but they're always a team that can go 8 to 10 deep and are always very competitive. And then the second game that I'll talk about is Little M versus the Colony. So in that 5A, I forgot which district it is, but they play each other at 7:30 at Little M. And the last time they played, Little M won it by 1 point in overtime. And now, a game like this where you got Northwest, who's first in that district, then you got Little M, who's 8-2, and then you have the Colony, who I believe is 6-4. So this is a game right here that could potentially, if the Colony wins 2 straight, or you got 2 more games left in district, and depending on what happens, Colony could potentially take that number 2 spot. So this is a really huge game for both teams.
Okay. Now, who are those 2 matchups again, real quick?
So you got ESD, Episcopal School of Dallas versus St. Mark's, which is a rivalry game in the SPC League, and then you got Little M in the Colony, who's always a really close game. Gets chippy. Those games really get chippy, and they're fun to watch.
Okay. All right. So those are 2 hot games right now for the Dallas Metroplex area, for the DFW area, which is ESD, Episcopal School of Dallas versus St. Mark's, and Little Elm versus the Colony.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Looking forward to those. Those are going to be good as well. Brandon, who we got in the Centex area? Give us a couple matchups down there. Who we got?
I got about 3 matchups for the Austin area specifically. The first one would be Austin Bowie. They're traveling to go face Austin Lake Travis. Lake Travis is currently ranked 15 in the state of Texas. And this will be the battle for second place in District 25 of UIL 6A. And so it should be a very fun matchup. Bowie comes in 10-4, looking to be 11-4. They're coached by Coach Collier, and some of their key players that you should look out for is the senior Carson Donahue and the sophomore Colton Benson. Both can really shoot it. If they're open for 3, it's likely that it's going to go in. For Lake Travis, they're missing their 2 best players in Ryan Borman, who recently committed to Texas State as a preferred walk-on, and then DJ Thorpe, who's headed to California. But they still have Bennett Mon, and Bennett Mon has been stepping his game up to make up for the losses. And they currently stay in second place, and they have been on a tear. So that should be one that you should look out for. The second one would be Round Rock versus Pflugerville-Hendrickson. They both sit in UIL District 13. And this one is just all about solidifying their spots and being comfortable and making a good run into playoffs. Hendrickson clinched the district title. So in Round Rock, they're just trying to solidify themselves at second place. So this should be a fun one to watch. Some key players to look out for in that game is the recent University of Texas at Dallas commit Will Isaac. He's 6'10". His length will definitely be a problem in this one. And then senior Carter Ford, he had 28 points in his last game versus Cedar Ridge. And then for Pflugerville-Hendrickson, the 2 D1 prospects, Dylan Dishu and Isaac Bullard, as well as the 2 defensive underclassmen in Deuce Hester and Jaden Williams. So it should be a fun one.
And Travis, for 2 weeks in a row, you got this in one of your games to watch. So how they do last week in those games, the games week that you spoke on for last week?
Lake Travis has been winning consistently ever since I caught their game versus Westlake a couple of weeks ago. So it's been amazing what they're doing without their best players. They're playing together as a team, and they're winning, and that's all you can ask for.
And who you say is coach up there?
Their coach is Clint Beatty, who has really did a great job of buying in and adjusting to any given situation. So,
okay, Coach Beatty said you're getting your job done. You're doing things up there. You say anytime you can lose some of your top players and still keep performing at a high level, man, and winning, says a whole lot about not only the players, but as your program and how you very keep your guys ready. So kudos to Coach right there. Give us another game in the DFW, Ani. Who we got, man?
So I'm gonna talk about the district, and that's 6A District 7, and that compiles of DeSoto, South Grand Prairie, Mansfield Summit, and Mansfield Lake Ridge. And DeSoto plays South Grand Prairie at DeSoto. And then you got Grand Prairie, who plays Lake Ridge, and then you have Waxahachie, who plays Summit at home. And then that district, DeSoto holds a pretty comfortable lead at first. Then you got South Grand Prairie. Then it goes Waxahachie, Grand Prairie, Lake Ridge. All of them are in the mix. They're all in the mix of that. And tomorrow's game is gonna not as much for DeSoto, but for the other 4 teams. You're going to start seeing teams clinching a spot after tomorrow. And you got Waxahachie, who has CJ Nolan, who's a really talented sophomore. I think he scored 30 points. I believe it was against Huntington Prep at the Roto-Rooter Classic, Roto-Rooter shootout that was in Dallas in December. Grand Prairie, it's really interesting that they're in the mix of a playoff spot, because last year I know they really struggled. But Donald Goldstone, a junior, he's really stepped up about 6'5", 6'6", athletics, really shooting the ball very well so far in the past couple of games. And DeSoto, Jarius Hicklin, who's a senior, he's unsigned senior right now. You got Duncan Powell, sophomore, that's really getting a lot of things done inside. Just that district alone, there's about 3 games that are really important for each team going into Tuesday.
So there's an outright leader right now as well?
Yeah, DeSoto's undefeated in district. Max Press has them 15-0.
Okay, so right now it's about we jockeying for position for 2 through 4, or
Yeah,
is
2 through 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but South Grand Prairie, they're second right now, but I think they're like a game. The third place team's like a game behind them. So a game, a potential win against DeSoto would be huge for them, just to keep that spot.
Okay, so South Grand Prairie, all they got to do is maybe win 1 or 2. Obviously, they've been locked in that second spot.
Right, and then you got Summit, who's I think been outside looking in that a win against Waxahachie be important for them to stay in it. So then you got Lake Ridge and Grand Prairie. They're both fighting for position as well. So you've got those 4 teams just really jockeying for position. With
that district being so deep right now, would you could you possibly say maybe they might have a state champion could come out that district? Is that how loaded it is, or do you think that's just that district is good for that reason right there?
I think outside I think DeSoto's the only one that would really have to me personally, to have a chance to win going to state or making the San Antonio, potentially winning it. DeSoto's more upperclassmen heavy. Guys that are experienced, and again, like we talked about last week, experience is very valuable, especially making playoff runs. And they're the team that not a lot of people are talking about could make a state run, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them in San Antonio.
All right. Game 3 in Centex area, Brandon. Who we got? We working these numbers, man. Let's see. Let's get these games hot, man. Let's see if we can get these gyms packed again, man.
I know one that will definitely have the gyms packed, and it's a 6A matchup in the same district, UIL 6A District 13. Austin Vandergrift will be traveling to Leander, and that will be a matchup just to see who wants it more, who wants to be in the playoffs more. You have Vandergrift 7-7 in district, 5th place. They're coached by Cliff Ellis. They have that man, the 5-star top 10 in the country, Greg Brown III. He'll be putting his team on his back and trying to see if he can pull out a victory just to clinch a playoff spot. And then Leander, who's coached by Coach Bradley, they sit at 9-6 in district, 4th place. And they have their key players is a sophomore, Noah Robledo. He plays hard and can shoot it, gets great elevation on his jump shot. And then the unsigned senior Hunter Stevens, who is their lead guard, shoots it pretty well. It's all about playing hard, though. I caught a game last week. They lost by 22, Round Rock McNeil, and it looked like nobody wanted to be there. So we'll see if they can play hard and compete and see who wants it more. It's simply just about will.
I guess it's redemption time then. It got smacked by 20-something. Let's see, let's see if we want to be back in the just. Brandon's coming to the gym, y'all. He's watching. I mean, come on, y'all got to give me something to talk about. Don't just lay down. I mean, come on, you got a good sophomore and you got an unsigned senior. That's some of the top guys. Guys got to be able to stick. Now, tell me this, Brandon. This is a situation for Vandergrift, right?
Vandergrift.
Yeah, Vandergrift with Greg Brown. What place are they in right now? And why are they in this place with Greg Brown being one of the top players in the country?
I think it's, to be honest, it's a lack of help and a lack of taking things personal. When I saw that they were 7-7 in district, it definitely brought up some red flags. It makes me wonder if the kids value winning. But we'll really see. I think that the light bulb has finally clicked. They've been on a win streak so far, and hopefully they can close out this one and clinch themselves a playoff spot.
Okay. I know. I think early on in the season, I don't know how far. I know Greg had missed some games at one point in time too. I know he was kind of nursing injury or something, coming back from the time that he needed for his body to heal. So hopefully that he's getting past that. So are there any particular players that we need to be looking out for in general in the Centex area for this week, Brandon? Any players, any kind of combination of things that's going on that some fans and supporters should be aware of?
Outside of the 3 games, I would check out Jamal Shedd. He and his Pflugerville Manor squad are playing Eastview this weekend. That's probably a game that I might attend. See what's going on in that district. Apparently Manor is number 1 in that district right now. So I just want to see how they're gelling, how Jamal is playing and whatnot. And then another pair of guards that I would go check out is the Pflugerville Connolly backcourt and Tyrone Perry and Colin Robinson. Both could provide value at the JUCO level, I think. So those are two good unsigned seniors that I would go check out. Colin Robinson, an athlete, gets above that rim, fast, gets to the rim. Tyrone Perry, nice mid-range game. He can score it. So they play, I think, a team called Weiss on Friday. Don't know how competitive it will be. I have Connolly winning that one with ease, but still two good guards to go check out.
Okay. And speaking of Jamal Shead from Manor, representing Wham, I think that's what they called it. Wham is how they call it. We are something Manor. Forgive me. I know you said you like that acronym and that slogan. So that was a good one right there. So who we looking at? Give us some tangibles in the DFW area. Ani, give us some tangibles, some different guys we could be looking at and who we need to be watching as well.
Yeah, so the first one, RJ Hampton. I want to go back to the game on Tuesday against Justin Northwest. RJ, again, has a game against the Colony on Friday, and on Tuesday he had a 50-point game. And RJ, probably the best shooting outing I've seen RJ have. 9 threes, probably shot about 42 to 44% from three. Showed that he's really capable of running a basketball team. And it's going to be interesting just going on to this game right here against the Colony, seeing how he performs. You got Avery Anderson for Northwest. I think Avery showed a lot of promise on Tuesday. Just seemed like he's really coming along as a point guard, and want to see how he performs. I don't know who they have on Friday, but just want to see if they can continue to, just be consistent with what they did on Tuesday. Another kid I'm really intrigued by is Isaiah Crawford from North Crowley. About 6'5", 6'6", like a tweener, 3'4", really talented, big arm, long arms, big hands. Really just been productive for Coach Tommy Brackle and his squad, and they're 30-3 right now, and that's in large part because of Isaiah Crawford's play. So I think
30-3.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, they're a team that's not being talked about enough. Isaiah Crawford is definitely not being talked about enough as the best player on that team. I mean, he is looking like a tremendous prospect, and he's somebody that coaches need to jump on quick.
What year is he?
He's a senior. He's a senior, but he's young. He's 17 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
So Isaiah Crawford over at North Crowley.
Yeah. Rebounds, open court ball handler, finishes inside, defends multiple positions. I mean, just an archetype.
So if y'all had some college coaches talking to you, called you right now and asked you, what position is Isaiah Crawford? What are we telling them?
I'm saying he's more of he's a small forward, but he's like a 3-4, 4-3. You can put him in either guard. You can put him in either spots because he's strong enough to defend fours like inside, and he's laterally quick enough to guard out on the perimeter. Maybe you look at the offensive standpoint at the next level, he may be more comfortable as a 4, but he's capable of guarding either position.
Okay, all right. So
I agree.
You agree with that? Okay, Brandon. Okay, so we got RJ Hampton and Little Elm's going to be playing the Colony this week on Friday. Mm-hmm. He just came off a 50-point performance. So RJ, you heard what Ani said. It's the game after the game that we kind of look at. Let's see if you what kind of performance, see if you can go get a dub and still have another incredible performance. That necessarily
yeah, right. It doesn't even have to be a 50-point game. Just what I really liked was when it was down and when the game was close, he went in and he tried to rebound in traffic. When he saw his players getting upset or getting frustrated, he gathered them in and he got them going. He got them in the right track. He was reading. He was looking at the gaps in the opposing defenses. He was reading how they're playing pick and roll, stuff like that. I mean, I just felt like RJ really played to win games. I'm not saying he doesn't play, but I felt like there was a maturation. There's been a maturation in this game.
That's growth. Like you say, when you get a chance, and those are the tangibles that a lot of coaches, and particularly some fans, don't get a chance to look at and watch. You see, when things go wrong, is he going to rebound? Is he picking his teammates up? Is he talking to him? Is he patting them on the back, telling him it's okay? Is he just not just when he defers to him, if he gives him a shot, is he going to steal? Is he just going to watch? Or is he going to be like, okay, I hope he makes it, but just in case, I'm going to do my other part and I'm going to go rebound because of my athleticism, my size, and everything else, I can help make things fit. So those are huge steps that you said that you get a chance to see him make. So kudos to RJ and Little Am, and I know that they've been always under the microscope every time that they play. Always under the microscope every time that they play. So it's good that they get going right there. Brandon, from the Centex area, you've been down there quite a bit just recently, but you making your rounds. Or what? Are there any other tangibles that we need to talk about, or some coaches that have caught your eye? Or tell us just some things in the area or what you've heard or seen that might stick out to some people down there from a basketball perspective.
Some coaches that I want to give some love to is the San Antonio Wagner coach, Coach Clark. They're definitely one of the most talented teams in that 5A as a whole, and they have not been satisfied. They have played hard. They're undefeated in district as they should be, and they made an effort to play hard each time they step out on the court. They're led by Jalen Jackson, and Jalen Jackson is all about winning, all about doing what it takes to win. And when you have a point guard like that, who does everything he needs to be, is another coach on the floor, it makes life easier for the whole team. So definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Clark. Coach Calgill of San Antonio Brennan, they're on a 10-game win streak. They've just found ways to win. They have talented players. I think that's a sleeper team that can make a deep run in playoffs. I love the way that their team is playing. It'll be interesting to see when they get into playoff play how they can handle adversity, because as we all know, the playoffs, it's a different type of feel. It's a different type of edge when they play against teams from other cities. Yes, you can dominate San Antonio, but can you dominate teams from all over the other parts of the region? So we'll see. But those are two coaches I want to shout out. They've been playing great basketball. And it'll be interesting to see how far they can go. I feel like Wagner can make a state run, though, because I don't see anybody in their region competing with them when they play the way they've been playing. Okay.
Let me guys remind you who we are. Right here we got Ani Umana from Five State Hoops Report out of Metroplex DFW. We got Brandon Jenkins with Prep Hoops, Texas.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about the games of the week in the Central Texas and the DFW area. And going forward, speaking of coming out of regions, guys, I would love to have you let's talk about maybe next week, get a chance to do some breakdowns, and hopefully we can get Blues or Tucci up in here with Texas Hoops and just start talking about maybe who's coming out of who we may think will be coming out the regions, maybe a little earlier than needed, but hey, no time like right now to start turning up that fire on people and let them know that we watching. We watching. Right. We expect a whole lot from them.
I'm good with it.
Can never be too early. Can never be too early.
Never too early. Never too early. Guys, look, we're gonna put an end to this show today. But again, I appreciate the time that you all take out to give the base in your area an understanding of what games they need to see, and let them know that you're on the grind. You're on the ground and you're moving and watching.
And Coach, I just want to know two coaches real quick, if I can. If we have time.
Please.
Again, we talked about North Crowley with Isaiah Crawford, Coach Tommy Brackle, leading North Crowley to a 30-3 record. Just his consistency throughout the years. I think he notched 700 wins this season, I believe. Maybe not yet, but I think he's very close to it, or if he already has. I may be wrong on that win record, but I know he eclipsed a all-time win record. And then Travis Edward for Justin Northwest. Northwest, they made the state title game last year. Coach Hatch left, went to coach at SMU. You lost. Just the fact that you can come back, you won your sole possession of your district, and you got a chance just to make another run at it. It's huge. It's huge.
Definitely a big thing right there, because
yeah.
You can't take things for granted. You can't take things for granted. Hey, I tell you what, ask Coach Bill Self about taking things for granted. He done won that Big 12 for years on end, and right now, injuries are playing a major role in what's going on at the Kansas. Not giving any excuses, but I think Marcus Garrett from Dallas was out last week against
Right.
Kansas State, and obviously Udoka was out. So those two guys, those are two huge pieces right now. So I'd sit back just watching Kansas the other day, watching Coach Self, and they were just watching like. So, but you can't take things for granted. Got to always be ready.
That's Mason Hicks, who Northwest lost from last year.
Mason Hicks.
Yeah.
Okay, and there we are. So, guys, again, as we conclude right now, I want to thank you all again for joining us. We will be back next week. We might go. I asked you, it was on me. Hopefully, we can go twice. If not for maybe for Tuesday, talk about the games Monday, maybe for games Tuesday and Friday, Saturday, or we just get together. But we'll definitely get back in for next week inside the booth. I appreciate y'all for joining in, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
There we go. Listen, two good guys, man. Ani Umana out of the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area, and Brandon Jenkins. He's in the Centex area. Two guys that really know basketball, have a passion for it, have been really watching players. So if I'm a college coach, I got their name, I got their numbers on speed dial, because guess what? They're not afraid to give you some names that you need to see. And if you have a name in particular, I'm pretty sure that they've seen them before and they know. And not just one time, they've seen them probably multiple times, because those are the type of guys they are. They're trying to be masters of their craft, and they are pretty doggone good at it. So shout out to them guys. I appreciate them being inside the booth with us, letting everybody in the Central Texas area, the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area, know who they believe what they believe are some of the games of the week, the coaches and players to watch are. As we get ready to conclude, do me a favor again. If you haven't already done it, so hit that subscribe button for us. Turn those notifications on. Hit share with some friends and family. Let them know that we're trying to grow here. Boom. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button for us, man. And we'll be able to continue to grow. But look, I'm Marlon Lowe for Ani Umana and Brandon Jenkins. Thanks for joining us inside the booth. We'll be back again real soon, shortly, with a whole bunch of more action and shows. Take it easy.